Let's get it. Hey guys, what's up? This is James from MyTakeOnReality. I'm going to be throwing out more videos this week, so keep an eye open for those videos as they drop. I wanted to talk real quick about something that was said that I kind of have an issue with during the tell-all, and I wanted to address this first because I thought it was kind of important. Now, I'm going to try to make it as light as I possibly can, but there are serious undertones to what we will be discussing today. All right? Now, before I get into it, I would simply ask that if you guys are enjoying my content, that you go ahead and give me that thumbs up. It helps with the algorithms and all that other stuff, but aside from that, more importantly, it lets me know that you guys are enjoying what I'm putting out. Also, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, it's easy to do. Now, it might not be a big click to you, but it's a huge click for me. It helps the channel out. It helps me out. And hey, who doesn't want to help a brother out? That's why we call it the HBO special. That's right. So give me that HBO special by clicking the subscribe button and ringing the bell for notifications, and you will be notified when I upload content just like this, as well as when I go live. Now, speaking of live, we had a fun time at the after party during the tell-all. That video is up. If you guys want to check it out, that's fantastic. I'm telling you, we have a great time. The chat box is all the way live. The community is growing, is getting stronger. There are supportive people there, and I love it. All right, now let's get it. So when I look at this, the tell-all, like I said, there was a lot of things that kind of struck me as points that we could talk about or add to the discussion. But one of the things that was said really bothered me, and it came from the whole question of how the family fell apart and the blame that Robyn has in her part in the family kind of falling apart and growing apart. And this is what Kody had to say. So we're going to set up the portion I want to talk about by going back and watching what Kody had to say to Suki with regard to Robyn and her culpability with the family falling apart.
I had one of my children complaining that I was always at one wife's house. Robyn's to blame for everything. There's something that has drawn the wrath of jealousy from the public, the tabloids, from sister wives, something to go towards her where she's being blamed for that I did or that I didn't manage or the bad relationship I had with one wife. Oh, that's Robyn's fault because I had a good relationship with her.
There is a point where Kody is trying to hold the public and the tabloids and the people who are basically the fans of the show responsible for the negative image that Robyn has. Here's a quick update, Kody. The public are not fools. They're not idiots. They're not Nimrods. They're not dummies. And they're certainly not jealous of Robyn and your relationship with Robyn, etc., etc. You are in love with Robyn, and that's wonderful for you, and I'm happy for you. God bless you. But please don't confuse you being happy with Robyn or you finding Robyn or choosing to be with Robyn with somebody making the observation that you are mistreating or you're not being a good steward to your other relationships, and somebody to have that criticism or that observation. That's not jealousy. That's common sense. That's us having our eyes in our head. That's us paying attention to what's going on. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that if you have a new wife or mistress come into a relationship where there's an older wife or older wives, that new wife might get attention. This is like the funniest thing to me is people like Kody always assume that they're inventing the wheel. They think they're inventing fire. When they do things, they think it's the first time that this ever happened. It's like talking to a very young person, right? When you as an older person, you go back and you try to talk to your kids or you talk to somebody who's significantly younger than you, they think that they're inventing the thing that they're going through. This is the first time in history a man has ever cheated on a woman, or a woman has ever cheated on a man, or somebody's ever been cheated on. This is the first time in history that a guy who is of middle age meets a younger woman and wants to leave and abandon his family. This has never happened before. You guys have no idea what this looks like. I don't understand how you come up with a commentary on what's going on. And this is the foolishness that we find ourselves in. Robyn isn't being blamed, and at least from my perspective, I don't blame Robyn for your relationship falling apart. I have said this time and time again on any one of my videos. I don't blame Robyn for your relationship falling apart. Because ultimately, Kody, you being the husband, you're the one who let her into your marriage. You're the one who let her into your relationships. She doesn't have any power based on who she is and how her relationship with other people. She has zero power over what happens within that family. Without you standing beside her or behind her, propping her up, she doesn't have any power. So if anything does happen, I agree with one thing you intimated, which is it is your fault. It is 100% Kody's fault. Everything that happened with the family falling apart, the family structure, him being estranged from his children, that is all on Kody. Because it's not Robyn's responsibility to make sure that Kody honors and respects and carries through his commitment, not only to his wives, the women that he supposedly had bound himself to for eternity, but he also has a moral commitment to his children, which he completely abandoned in light of and in pursuit of his relationship with Robyn. I agree with that. And I'm not blaming her for that. The part that I do blame Robyn for is where she sits there and says that she speaks Kodynese. She sits there and speaks the Kody. When she puts herself in the middle of these relationships as the mediator and the arbiter of these relationships, then when those relationships start to fail, you are responsible. You can't say that I'm the one who's going to be able to talk to your father. So if you want to come over and have a conversation with your dad, I'll be there and I'll interpret for you because I speak the Kody. Because messages get lost in translation. And here's the thing. You ever hear the term, don't shoot the messenger? That's a saying for a reason. Because when people get information or messages or communications that they don't like, they oftentimes will be angry with the person who is communicating to them, whether they had anything to do with the original message or not. So in this particular case, if Robyn puts herself in the most generous way that I can give her credit, if Robyn puts herself in a situation where she most innocently, like a school child, and I don't understand how the world works, puts herself in the middle of these relationships and it blows up, then she will get the blame. And shame on her for not realizing that, because she too now is middle-aged. She's not this 20-year-old fresh out of high school young lady or fresh out of college young lady who just came into the family with a bunch of 40 and 50-year-old people and doesn't understand necessarily how the world works because she's been sheltered. Robyn has been through the grits. She's been married before. She understands how relationships work. Robyn has been in the world. She belonged to the streets. Robyn has been out there. So there's no, I don't give her a lot of those passes that I'm not, by me saying everybody, Kody, is trying to give her by saying that she's this innocent woman. You are no longer a spring chicken. You weren't a spring chicken when you came into the relationship. You were just younger than the wives, the OG3. But you weren't this young, innocent, naive person walking through the world. And I'm tired of, to be honest with you, if I'm going to keep it all the way a stack, I'm kind of tired of her pretending that she's this innocent person and she doesn't understand what's going on and she's so confused. I'm tired of that gimmick. So you should stop doing that because you're too old to sit there and play the fool. Now, to get more specific about the thing that really bothered me was when he took it the next step and he had this to say.
There was a shift of blame towards Robyn that got to the point where it was making me so angry that I was getting to the point where if you had a complaint about her, I'd be like, shut up, I will punch you in the mouth.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Stop it. Get some help.
And that's what I felt like saying yesterday. What? Stop it. Get some help. Because you're trying to say, and to be honest with you, during the live, I tried to play it off and I tried to make light of it that he was talking specifically about people from YouTube who are commenting on the relationship, so on and so forth. And because that's really who he would be talking about, because honestly, you guys aren't big enough that newspapers and the tabloids give a damn what you're doing, to be honest with you. They're more focused on Christine and Janelle getting away and being free. They may even refocus on Mary getting away and being free, which I'm sure the three of them getting the spotlight is probably burning you up and hurting you more than anything that I ever could say. But let's pretend that you were talking to me. You ain't gonna come over and punch me in the mouth. Like, you know what I mean? So don't write checks that your ass can't cash. That's what we used to say back in the day. Now, I'm not a tough dude. I'm not going to sit there and pretend like, oh, Kody, come up to me. I'm going to do rubber bird. I'm going to bend him up like a pretzel. I'm not going to do that. What I am going to say is I'm not an easy win. So make sure you bring lunch. And if you bring some people with you, make sure you don't care about them, because you're going to lose your boys. So just understand that. but that's as far as I would go with it. Now, when it comes to the whole act of violence, even with me playing around with it there, this is kind of getting into that gray zone where you have to be very careful, because Kody's not a rich and famous dude. He's popular on TLC. Yeah, I talk about him, but I mean, let's be honest. You're not on the level of like a Tom Cruise, Denzel Washington, or one of them famous kids that's on Nickelodeon or even Disney Channel. You understand what I mean? You're on TLC, bruh. So there's a possibility I could be out in Vegas, if I go to Vegas or Arizona, Flagstaff, and we could run into each other. Please understand that I'm willing to stand here and talk to people. I'm willing to have conversations with people, but just don't put your hands on me, because that's a whole different other thing. That's my rule. Now, when it comes to the whole threat of violence, I played it off that way because I thought it would make it a little lighter. But the reality of it is, Kody wasn't talking to me. He was talking to his kids. And he was talking to his wives or his ex-wives or his children's mother. So this jackass gets on the TV and threatens to punch his ex-wives or his baby mothers in the mouth if they have something to say about his wife. And you wonder why you're having a problem with your image, you idiot. You get on as a man, like, my favorite part is he's I'm a man, and when this is what men do, and oh, the manosphere has told me that women will try to use you for your resources, and women are the inferior sex because they can't protect you, because that's the man's job, because we're physically superior, and all that craziness. First of all, with the modern technology, bruh, you know, even a baby can pull a trigger. You understand what I mean? So it's kind of leveled out as far as like the physical dominance. But let's keep it all the way in stack. If that's what you believe, and that's where you are, that you're so superior physically to a woman, so that's why you're the leader and you're the head of the family, because physically you can dominate everybody else. Ridiculous. But that's what you believe? Fine. I don't understand how you go from I'm physically superior to everybody else that I can go and punch them in the mouth. And you think that that's going to fly or float. Right there, you jackass. That is the most ridiculous statement he could have possibly made. And like I said, stop it. Get some help. You need to talk to somebody. If you think that this is going to make your relationship better with anybody involved, you're a fool. Because when you get finished torching your relationships with your ex-wives, with your baby moms, with your kids, and this woman leaves your ass because she's setting it up to leave you. And I'll cover that in another video, so keep an eye out on that, where we'll talk about how she's going to leave him. And more specifically, I kind of touched on it during the live. The dumbest part about the whole thing is she's setting Kody up to assist her in leaving when she leaves, where she can get even more money, more money, more money. She's stacking her money on top of money with this fool because he's so anxious to try to impress upon her how much he loves her. This is where I step back and I say, you protest too much. You are professing too much. You are saying too much and trying to make too much of a statement that you're so deeply in love with this woman and nobody's going to come between you because you guys are like this and nothing's going to break you up, that it makes me question how strong your relationship actually is. The fact that you have to threaten your children or punch them in the mouth if anybody criticizes another member of the family, that's ridiculous. And then how do you have a functional, healthy relationship with somebody in that family if you can't even talk about that person? I can't bring up how this person messed up. Nobody is perfect. Everybody can get it. So if you mess up, I can't point out the fact that you mess up without running the risk of getting punched in the mouth. And this is why some of your kids, I suspect, are saying that they want to cut ties with you and you won't know your grandkids the way they're going. I'm not going to holler any names out because I don't want to get in that business. But if that could be, for me, a strong indication as to why, and a support of the notion that they don't want you around their kids. Because you're demonstrating your instability in your like how you're dealing with things and how you're processing things. They have a right to feel how they feel. If they feel like you weren't around enough, or you weren't, at their house enough, you weren't splitting your time equitably, that's how they feel. They have a right to their feelings, and they definitely they have a right to feel safe and secure in their personhood and their opinion, where they don't have to be concerned about punching somebody in the mouth. That's my take. I'm James. This has been My Take on Reality, and I'm out.
'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH.